What's up, Lynn?
What's up? It's been a
How you
minute.
doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, man. The day is finally winding down, but it's still busy, you know?
Absolutely. Been there.
I'm loving it. Yeah. You're still there, right? In college?
Yeah, so I'm in Colorado. This is my second to last year. So I have just the end of this quarter and then my senior year, and that's it. So you've
Coming up
known
to an
me
end.
since I was in end of seventh grade going into eighth, and now I'm
Shit.
out of college. So it's been a couple years since I've known you. That
Damn.
first ever day I met you was when I met the whole crew, you, Z,
Yep.
the fellas, when you were doing push-ups on Twitch, and I dropped in and I said, "Get down and give me 20." And that's the first ever day I was like, "This will forever be my place."
Dude, doing push-ups on the stream was diabolical. You guys showed no mercy. I didn't need to go to
Oh
the gym.
no,
I
we
didn't need
didn't
to go
care
to the
one
gym.
bit. Absolutely not.
Wow. Middle of a game, like you guys would have me do Susana and all this shit.
Oh
Oh
my
my
God, yes,
goodness. Yeah.
yes.
Crazy
You
characters.
went from one kid, you went from baby B to now four.
Yes. Yeah.
We go way back.
It's definitely been a lot of like time, gaming years and all that stuff, and it's plenty of Fortnite games, especially with the squad.
Do you remember when I played Fortnite with you?
Yeah, I think it's a TikTok clip that's up too, because I think we
I
we
still have
won or
it.
we got like second place or something like that.
Oh yeah, no, we were,
First,
yeah.
one of those.
Oh yeah.
So what are you going to college for?
So right now I'm doing three majors. So communication, business analytics, and sports studies with a minor in psych. And then I'm looking at two others, doing some med school kind of work. And then I'm hopefully going to do some sort of like, I don't know, psych mixed with some other random stuff. I'm kind of looking, because
Yeah.
I was only supposed to major and minor in one thing, but the way it worked out, I'm now doing two to three. But yeah, so I'm in my last week of summer classes, and then the quarter starts, and then we have 4 quarters, and then I'm basically done in my senior year, and that's it.
So how do you feel? So what are you trying to become with all of those different majors,
I
sub
don't really
majors?
know. So my mom's a CFO, so I am trying to kind of follow in the footsteps of her. My oldest brother, he's doing bio, and my dad is in the healthcare district. So I'm kind of
Oh,
doing
nice.
stuff with all that fun jazz. But I don't know. I was looking at doing some realtor stuff, but I've had other thoughts of some other fun ideas. My brother's actually a real estate agent right now. He's buying properties and then selling them and doing that kind of fun ordeal. So
Mm-hmm. Interesting market. What state is he doing that in?
he's in New Jersey. So he's doing a internship here in California. I'm in Colorado right now. So he's doing that for a couple weeks, and then he goes back to school and is going to use that to find some sort of marketing or some sort of like firm work.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
With what is it that you want to do? Like with all this stuff, like do you know that part?
I really don't. It
Mm.
kind of just hit me. I've been thinking about because everyone's been asking me.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I'm just kind of getting my major minors lined up and then kind of it. So we'll figure it out by the end of summer into my senior year, and then that'll be it. So
It's coming up. It's
yeah,
exciting.
yeah, super exciting.
What's the most exciting subject that you've taken so far?
Right now, sports studies and then communications is super fun. We're learning about a great different ordeal of stuff. Right now we're learning communication rules. We're learning privacy rules like NDA kind of stuff.
Mhm.
Different ways like communicating with people, doing problem solving, negotiating. I'm pretty good at like talking to people, and I love like helping people. So I've been working in the fire realm for a couple of years, so being there for people on their worst day, and that kind of goes hand in hand with anything that you may need that you have to communicate in the firm or whatever. So I don't really know where we're gonna go, but this will be a fun adventure to, you know, see where this leads us. So
Are you still gaming?
a little bit. A
Do
little
you have
bit.
time for gaming with the crazy schedule?
I have 45 minutes every single day to game. So
Do you why 45? Do you have everything like
so
blocked out?
I go to class from 9 to 11:30, and then I game from 11:30 to 12:15 or so. Then I go to the gym, and then I have classes from 1:45 to 6 p.m. Then I get off, do my homework from 6 to about 11:30. Then I do some other like readings and stuff, prepare myself for the next day. From like 12 to about 2 a.m. I go to bed around 5:30 in the morning. So
And what time do you wake up?
what time did I wake up? I went to bed this morning at 6:45 and I got up about 8:15.
And you're still going?
Stay grind.
That's insane.
Yep, welcome to school.
No way.
Without any energy drinks or anything, that's how we roll.
Pure book knowledge. Pure
Something
grit
like
to
that.
read.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And so you're in Colorado, you said?
Yes, I'm in Denver. So I've been here
Denver.
since last August, and now I'm going to school. So
What's there to do in Denver?
oh, a lot of things. I went out to a lot of our like state parks where there's like super fun lakes and stuff that we go to. Walk around, a lot of great food out here, a lot of tourism, which is fun to like have vacation in your own area.
Yeah.
Walking around parks with friends, doing picnics. Went up to Red Rocks, which is up in Golden or Aurora area.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
where they have different types of concerts and a bunch of like fun, like little venue kind of stuff going on out there. Kind of gone to explore the middle of nowhere, which is super fun. Just taking breaks like during the day. What else? I wanted to buy a new cat, so
You bought a cat?
I did. I bought a cat.
What kind of cat?
Unfortunately, my long-term relationship did not last, which is
Mm.
okay.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so I'm kind of just focusing on school and get myself back on track and, staying on the grind. It only gets better from here. Really go up.
That's very true. With your mom being a CFO, what company does she work at? Can you say?
She works
That's
in
pretty
some sort
badass.
of firm in San Francisco, so she's doing a bunch of like accounting stuff. They have
Numbers.
like firm meetings every month where people come and visit their business or whatever and kind of see like what's going on, what's not going on. She works 7 days a week now. So during COVID, she was online fully, which was right when it hit March 13th, when the district and everyone shut down. The market plummeted and they were
My
in a bad
goodness.
spot. And
You make
then
it sound like
JP
the Hunger
Morgan,
Games.
yeah, and JP Morgan Chase just bought a bunch of stuff. So that really threw them off for a curveball. So my mom's up for countless hours dealing with that. But now back on track, everything's back up and going. She's in the office 7 days a week and she's an empty nester right now. So all of us siblings so there's 8 of us.
Damn. 8.
We're everywhere. So me and my oldest brother, he's in Princeton, New Jersey. I'm in Denver, and then one's in Arizona, one's in Boston, one's in New York, one is in Massachusetts, one's in Rhode Island, one's in California, and then my last little one, she's also in California as well.
Yeah, you guys are everywhere.
Yes.
I know me and my sisters, we're all in the same state still. I'm an hour away from them, and they're
Okay.
about 45 minutes away from each other.
Heck yeah.
So yeah, it's not too bad. I try to see them quite often, but I'm so busy I don't see them. But I'm a horrible texter, so I can't even text them. I barely
Sometimes
do.
it's how it be. We're all busy, schedules get fluctuated, we just don't have time.
Exactly. I'll send a random text here and there, let them know I'm still alive. But other than that, I'm good. So
You have
yeah,
a full
that's
family, you're
crazy.
working, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it would be weird if one of my sisters moved out of state, especially if I had like 7 or 8 of them. That'd be
It's a
wild.
really odd change. I did not like it, and then now it's like, we do our family reunions.
That's cool.
We go and see each other. They come here. But it's kind of fun. You get to like go visit new places, meet new people, travel the world. It's chill. It's great.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you keep up with current events?
Yes.
You do.
I do very much. I'm all over the news. I'm sure you've seen what's going on with the Idaho thing.
Idaho? No, I don't.
Have you not looked it up?
No, what's going on in Idaho?
Oh, well, so there was a younger teen, I think he was 16, 18, and he decided to use a pew pew and decided to ambush and reel in a bunch of first responders. So those are like my brothers and sisters. So he set a intentional wildfire. And then yeah, they've been on a manhunt for him. They finally found him and they found the parents of him. And so it was like a 3-day ordeal. There was a bunch of different law enforcement from Washington, Idaho, I think maybe a couple from California, I'm not sure. But that's been breaking news. It's been everywhere. And there's obviously stuff in Denver here and whatnot. So yeah.
Crazy shit everywhere.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know what this world's come to. Can't tell you.
It's such a
sucks.
dark and evil place. I think people just need to relax more.
Like,
and
let's
mind
like
their own
actually
business.
get along and like let's not take advantage of each other. And
It's not that hard. You know what I mean? Just like
it's not. Yeah.
well, but it is hard. It is hard because some people's like, it's so complicated. It really is. Like the social complexity of it all sucks.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But it's also it could be potentially easy. But then somebody
Yeah.
could say how, and you're like, I don't fucking know, because this person likes it left, this person likes it right. That's obviously posing contrasting views.
Yeah.
And then if you try to isolate them, one side's going to get jealous of the other just by curiosity and envy.
Yeah.
Or greed. So then it's like no matter what you do, it's always going to be there. Like that is the history of it.
Yeah. It changed from right when COVID hit to now 2 years or what, 3 years? Now look what has changed from since then. It's crazy.
I was thinking about that last night. I was 2020. Like I think there's times where like it's just great. Like 2008 was a cool time. 2013, 14, 15, 16 was cool. 17, 18, you know, and then just
Yeah.
it's getting weird.
Yeah.
But there's those cultural moments where it's badass, you know, where it's just like,
Absolutely.
oh, that was a good era.
Yeah.
Music, movies, no cool actors were dying. And then there's those times where it's just like every fucking cool actor's dying. It's shit movies. Everybody's getting a fucking flat tire and a ticket.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great.
Mm-hmm. It just keeps on keeping on, you know?
Exactly.
I've seen so many actors die like every single day when I'm on Twitter or X, now known as.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing. Every day there's always something. It's always one thing after another. Like we just lost like, you know, Jimmy Buffett. We're losing like the OG country people. You know, it's just this world is crazy. Everyone's just, you know, and after COVID, I think that we were so focused on like being in our little pods, like being together, you know, having that family time to, oh my God, I hate everyone. And then we let people out and it's just like commodity everywhere.
Neuralink is coming soon. Have you seen that?
Mm-mm.
Do you know what that is?
No, what is it?
Elon Musk. Little brain implant chip into the head. You know nothing about this?
Huh.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, so I'm gonna rant and rave about this.
Yeah.
Elon Musk is having he has this company called Neuralink, and they just did a press release a couple days ago just to kind of say, like, not even fundraising for money, just pretty much saying, hey, look, we don't need money. We're just showing you the cool shit we're making, and we're looking for smart people. So if you want to make cool shit like this, like, come hang out, right? Like, that was the presentation.
Mm-hmm.
But what they showed was the brain chip actually in people who can't move their hands, their legs. Some of them can't even speak, right? Like just paraplegic, right?
Yeah.
And they're able to communicate with the computer full on, like tell the computer what to do, play Mario Kart, write code, and like just use the whole functionality of it, right? So that's like super cool in itself. And it's called the Neuralink, the chip, Neuralink chip, like that. And even when other people get it implanted into their brain, they can actually get their vision back for people who were probably born blind.
Yeah.
They're saying it can help them see. to a degree, and they even broke down the science and the visual science to even show you how it would work and what they would potentially see.
Yeah.
And then by like 2028, they're going to have it access even more parts of your brain to have you be fully integrated with AI.
That's crazy.
Not to mention one of the guys, he was like talking and everything, and he was like using his brain to like move the hand in the computer. And then they took that and put it into like one of Elon Musk's robots' hands, and then the hand was moving just how he visioned it.
That's interesting.
And Elon Musk was basically saying, like, eventually what you'll be able to do is take full control of an Optimus robot with your mind and tell it what to do and where to go. And they even broke down the science of like how neurons and the brain works in itself. So it was like super scientific, like geeky shit.
Yeah.
I felt it was so, I didn't get to watch the whole thing, about 45 minutes of it, and that was just the summary of it. But it's terrifying, it's awesome, it's cybernetic, it's cyberpunk, it's the coolest shit, but the scariest shit at the same time.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's coming in like 5 years.
That's crazy. This world just keeps adapting to like new innovative stuff.
That's the key. That's the key to humanity, is like there needs to be the history of wars that fuel innovation, that keep the human race alive. Because if there isn't, the human race would die off a long time ago, because it would not force certain tribes prehistorically to be nomads and travel, right? They would just die off, but instead they moved around to survive. And that's just human nature. And here we are.
What's your, just based on that kind of stuff, I'm super interested in your thoughts on AI. I'll kind of kick it off just giving you my general thoughts. As a college student, AI has completely adapted and changed this world in that, you know, I think Ryan may have touched on it a little bit, how there are the good parts of AI and there are also like the bad parts of its misuse. And I feel like, you know, nowadays everything was all about what you knew. And now we're using AI to be able to control companies, to be able to control schools, doing schoolwork, whatever you got to do. AI, I feel like it's completely taking over. You know, we have, you know, robotic cars now. Like there's so much that I think could be a positive change on depending on how you see it. But I just think that's an interesting kind of topic. We have touched on it relatively quickly in class today. And, you know, it kind of goes hand in hand with communication, how, you know, we really need to, you know, focus on not only using AI, but focusing on the skills that we have, you know, to use in life. And I'm kind of interested in what you think and how, you know, that applies to your life, and how, if it's changed or not changed your life, and kind of what you're seeing, you know, day in, day out.
That's great. So my first thing with AI is like, I love this because I look so much into it because I think it's the coolest thing. I really do.
Yeah.
But I'm also very terrified of it, right? The way AI has changed, it hasn't changed my life. It's changed my perspective.
Okay.
It's changed my mentality and my way of thinking, and realizing that I need to adapt more digitally. I need to, because I love to think in contrasts, like complete opposite. It helps me just get the other perspective and view right away.
Yeah.
So in contrast of that, being for AI has a ton of benefits.
Right.
And then if you don't like AI and the wave of it, you're going to get left behind in a very brutal way that's going to be written in history. Why do I say that? Because that's just how history is, right? Like there's certain eras and time periods for a reason, and we're able to classify it because at one point, one generation's way of living died off. And another one came that was more superior in the way of thinking and development and adapting to the times of the human evolutionary consciousness, right?
Absolutely.
Which leads us now here. So as people individually, some people are going to understand, okay, yes, technology is the way of how things are moving forward.
Right.
We know that because my crazy way of thinking, and this is very abstract, like just it's a fun thought, right? Like
Yeah,
it's not a solid
definitely.
one, but this
Yeah.
is a fun thought. It's like when people have the imagination of what the future is, it's because it's already happened, right? And they're just able to tap into that, call it creativity, but in reality, it's a version of what's happening or what's happened, right? Like infinite timeline type shit.
Yeah.
So that's what I think with that. And what happens in the future is we always see these shifts, and one is happening right now. Neuralink is that part of history that's going to make human cybernetics enhancements for humans in the future to then become, cyborgs. And then
Yeah.
after that is the sentient beings. Like there's a timeline that just happens, and it shows you that humans are ourselves are literally, we are just the vessels. And there is this huge consciousness that just moves forward, and that idea and concept that we can't grasp because we die off, we're just beings of information that transfer this human consciousness. Like we're going to have this conversation again. Why?
Yeah.
Because that's just how it works, information being passed on. So when AI comes into play with it, like again, all of that to me is super badass. It's a positive. That's awesome. The sad part about it is our physical way of life, we're terrified.
Yeah.
But that's just the physical part of it, right? Because we physically don't know what's going to happen to us. So then our emotions run rampant, and it's going to take away jobs, which it is, and it has. It's going to be used for, corruption, which it is, and it has. Like that's just proven fact. This thing has been developing for 50 plus years.
Right.
Like to me, that's insane because now we're just getting our hands on it. It's becoming more and more into the public.
Right.
So they've had time to test this and use this, and imagine how much more whoever was engineering this stuff, how much more advanced knowledge they have versus everybody else, because then they can use it to predict human patterns and psychology. Because at the end of the day, if you can make a machine that can obtain so much data, you can predict human psychology and then engineer it in a way to fit any narrative, brother. So that's a negative, right? And that's a very true thing, because social media, for instance, is no longer a social thing. And I've talked about this before on the podcast. It's Gary Vee says it best. It's like it's an interest graft. So if all you're seeing is what is interesting to you, but when there's screens in front of you, you have to pause and think like this new philosophical thought of, is it me thinking this stuff? Or is it what's being shown to me that's forcing me to think of this stuff? Right.
Yeah.
And once you see that, it's crazy. I heard this thing the other day that like popped my brain in half.
Yeah.
And it was like, commercials weren't the interruption. That was the show.
Right.
The interruption was what we would sit down and watch and say, like, Pretty Little Liars, we're watching that. That's the interruption, because they're just hooking us on to wait to show us Lay's chips commercials 50 times over 6 shows that we're watching.
Yeah.
And then that's the bigger psychology of it. Like, you think TV's fun and entertaining, but then you have that flipped perspective and you're like, oh shit, maybe I have been brainwashed for these big companies who've been showing me their products when I'm driving on the billboards, when I'm at home, listening to music, it pops up, YouTube, it pops up like everywhere. It's these brands. And it's like, where are my own thoughts?
Right.
So then AI, that's a negative thing, because you're going to search something thinking that you're going to get unbiased results, but they base all that information off of a certain code that's written in a way to have a certain impact, because everybody's perspective of who's creating their version of AI is going to think that they are correct because they are human and humans think that way. Right. So now we're going to have these different AI kids growing up that are going to have like these human cult followings, and then these things are going to become gods to us. That's a negative.
Yeah. No, that's, you made
I'm having fun with it. I'm having fun with it.
No, and that's super creative. Yeah. How have you used that? Like, how have you used AI in life? How does that impact work? And, what are your thoughts on that as far as mentoring baby B and like how that's going to impact him moving forward? Because I know, right now in this generation, we're still kind of adapting, figuring out what works, what doesn't, what's good, what's bad. But how do we think that this is going to impact the ones that, are coming next?
Yes,
is this going to be a more relevant thing? Is this going to take over the next generation? Or do you think that we're going to remain kind of similar to where we are now? But what do you think it's going to do?
So I think it's with nobody really knowing what the future is going to hold with AI, because it's going to spark so many new jobs. It's going to spark so much positive influence.
Yeah.
But also too with the negative, as we're discussing. The biggest thing for me when it comes to Baby B, my son, for those who are listening, is making sure that no matter what, I don't teach him pretty much what the job is, but how to have the knowledge to do any job, right? Having principles and morals that can be adapted to any situation, making sure that he's malleable to understand the basic necessities of reason, logic, that type of shit.
Absolutely.
So to me, I think that's the biggest thing. So there's a book that I've been working on, right? It's a working title. I've mentioned it in the podcast too. For those of you who are listening, I'm now brainwashing you guys. It's called Kill the Boy. And there's like these 10 important factors that I think if you have these, no matter what happens, you will be living a good and moral way of life. You'll be going in the right direction. And it's the poor mentality, inability to regulate emotions, the lack of discipline, the fear of failure, seeking instant gratification, the lack of purpose, poor time management, avoiding responsibility, people pleasing, and weak and physical mental health. So like if you don't master those things, no matter what happens, you are going to fall and fail. You don't have to be perfect, but you have to have reason and a connection and a relationship with each one of those 10 things, and you can succeed. Like, I think in my perspective with Baby B, I'm trying to teach him that not so much in words, like read this book and memorize it, but more in feelings, right? Because we as people attach things to the emotions. So I'm trying to show him and have him chase personal, real life meaning versus the let me get my meaning and entertainment and my dopamine fix from just the screen.
Right.
He's going to get it from the screen, naturally.
Yeah.
But I'm also trying to show him, hey, just don't go outside. Go outside. No, fall in love with outside. Let's go outside and do this. Let's go find this out. Let's go jump in the pool. Let's put music on. Let's disconnect.
Yes.
Right.
That's
and
huge.
That is not so much. It's different than saying, get off the tablet, go do this, which is what I do that too. But I realized there's a bigger impact that affects my kids and me when I'm like, I don't talk, but I just lead and we just go do something physical and fall in love with that. And then eventually even the kids are like, Dad, let's go do this versus the tablet and screens.
Right.
So it's like making sure that he understand and all my kids understand the emotional aspects of positive and negative emotions within the framework of these 10 things. Yeah. It sounds like a lot of work, and it is, but that's the difference between like getting sucked in and being completely overtaken and frustrated and lost by AI because it's coming in and all you see is just the pure negative of it versus, okay, how can I adapt with it as a tool and still find a way through this?
Absolutely.
Because the mind shift has to be, and it has to be a mind shift. It does. Unfortunately, it does. Yeah. To stick with the times. And again, that's just the history curve. Like I said earlier, history doesn't care about the emotions or feelings of your ultimate idea, the grand scheme of it. But to your life and your purpose and your meaning, it's the most important decision that you need to live by, not anybody else's, right?
Absolutely.
So again, tying that with AI, you need to have that level of depth, I think. Right? Because if you don't have that level of depth, you're going to go ahead and be reaching outward and just grabbing all the crap that comes at you. And you're going to get lost in the chaos of trying to navigate a world where your parents are revolting against robots and robots are growing up with you and telling you that, hey, we're okay, we're good. Get your robot friend at the store and make your life easy. Like at the end of the day, the people who are going to fight AI are going to get lost in time. You will be written in history, but you're going to have to move with the times. And the more that people can flow with it is great. That doesn't mean you can't have your disagreements. You can't have your own opinion. Vocalize it in a way that presents itself in a well manner. Just don't try to stop history in its tracks. You can't. And people have tried and they have failed. You can't stop history. You can't stop movement forward. of the consciousness of the human emotions.
That's really interesting.
But it's adapting your physicalness to the ideology framework of good morals.
Wow, you nailed that. I really like your thinking, and there are some really good points. I never thought about it like that.
I don't even know how I think. I just speak and forget.
Well, it's kind of the things that you've been through and, what's going through your mind for the future, for sure.
Mm-hmm. I think about this stuff every day. I do. And I try to stay on top of it. Like being a filmmaker, there's that love of being on set.
Yeah.
And when AI comes in and now I'm able to make a scene, I can make a movie in a night, where before it would take 4 months. In a way, I kind of feel cheated because I know what that love is like, to go through the process of, fuck, this script is shit. Let me rewrite it.
Yeah.
This guy has to go over here. No, that doesn't make sense for this scene. Like, it takes away some of the love for it, because you can just run shit through AI and it takes away that hard work. But there's that love to the hard work. I mean, you know that. That's why you're still in college grinding it out, because there's a mutual feeling of respect. You're getting fulfillment. You're seeing the progress. You're excited. You're setting multiple groundworks for, whatever can happen with this. And especially with AI, that's just going to make you even more malleable, because if you get even project management under your belt at that point, which I'm sure they teach you being a business analyst, definitely business structure. So if you take that, integrate AI, you can open up a consulting business and have AI get you your clients, and then you just review certain things and just.
Yeah. Now, we've used AI with a lot of our stuff. As again, we're learning how to build companies. Like, you can literally tell AI, hey, I have these many, clients, build me this, and this, build my resume, boom, there you go. Like, it's crazy. I never thought, I was like, oh, this is gonna be a really hard process. Like, I'm gonna do it all myself. Now that AI is kind of, in full swing, I'm like, oh my God, I can connect these two.
Exactly.
And there you have it.
Your personal efficiency just skyrockets, especially if you're a creative ADHD person. If you can talk to that AI, and I love talking to it. I've talked to it a bunch. I've used it as a fucking therapist at one point.
I do too.
That motherfucker was like,
yes.
Damn, you're right. Gave me some new perspectives to think about. And that was the best part. But yeah, it's so fucking cool. I was talking to it. We wrote a couple small little different programs too. I know nothing about code.
So funny you mentioned that. Right now I'm in a math foundations course where we're learning how to code, to make games, to just use general math. And I knew nothing about coding. I didn't take any computer science classes yet. But now here we are using JavaScript and using, different programs. And I was kind of reflecting and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have to use coding wherever I go, even if it's in business.
Yep.
AI has been a substantial thing for me to be able to navigate how to do certain things, because it'll teach me rather than, telling me exactly what to do. And I feel like that's kind of, it applies to companies the same, where it's it doesn't, tell you how to do it, but it gives you those steps in order to follow to be successful.
Do you do a lot of work with Bitcoin and understanding currencies?
A little bit, not a lot. We are kind of, getting into it more as we speak. But right now we're kind of learning how to build a business, kind of doing some money, micromanaging, and then we're going to jump into Bitcoin, I think, next week. And that's going to be the last chapter of our course. It's interesting. I talked to my buddy, I don't even know, I guess 2019 maybe, and he just started kind of wanting to invest stuff, and we never really talked about it in depth. And then now that I'm thinking about it, investment was a huge thing. I know Bitcoin came out a little bit ago, and I never knew how much that could really impact your life, and helping you grow. So yeah, we haven't used it quite yet, but that's good points. I never thought about it.
What's your thoughts on AI? Especially with you going to school right now and people could, Say, hey, do a business analyst's job for me and automate it.
It's a mixed kind of signal for me.
Yeah.
In the business aspect, I think it's really beneficial because it kind of gives you this ground layout where it's like, all right, you need to do XYZ, put it into this program, and like you don't have to, you should probably do the thinking about it, but it kind of does it for you. You give it your ideas, and then it kind of comes together like, all right, here's what you're thinking, use this plan to be able to, create whatever you want to do. In communication terms, that's been a really challenging kind of, topic that we've talked about, because right now we have seen an influx of students using AI to write papers, to do homework. And we're all,
Guilty.
yeah, I was like, we're all guilty. I know that for a fact.
Even the teachers, they're going to use AI to fucking grade the papers.
Right. That's the thing. So it's crazy to me because my professors here, they're like, oh, let's not use AI when doing your homework and writing papers. I literally watched a kid use AI, and so there's an application called Zero GPT or Zero GPT, Chat GPT, but zero. So you can insert your paper and it'll read it over and it'll tell you handwritten compared to AI. And I watched this kid in front of me write his whole paper, and it came out and said 81% AI used. And that's huge. So at our school, they only let you do 11.3% to 12.5%. You can only go that far.
Wow.
So yes, it's a big crackdown. So right now what they're doing is if you go over that, you get called into conduct. And that's a big thing. And every student obviously uses AI. The way I'm using AI is I'm using it for my ideas, giving me templates on how to write my papers. I do the thinking because I take notes. I attend all my lectures, But I feel like for those who think that they can, quote unquote, cheat their way out, right?
They can. I have a theory. AI. I have a crazy theory. What if you have like your journalings and your handwritten notes, things of papers, all of that in your own words? Tell the AI to learn off of that and then write papers based off of it. And make sure you train it off of your first draft. That way there's still some errors in there. That way it doesn't look for perfection, but you can then program it against that. You can program it against that. Some nerds probably already done that already. That's crazy though. This just makes me think that we need to reframe the way we teach.
Absolutely. And I think that there's also this part where, AI has taken over everything. I think there's a positive and negative to AI. Positive being, okay, you can use it as a guiding tool, but then there's that negative where that's that very fine line where everyone's like, oh, AI is great. Like it does everything for you. No. You also have a part in it, but you just can't use AI fully, and I think that students, obviously want to cheat their way through, right? So, where is a differential between learning and using a robotic system in order to do your work? Now it's come to terms where it's easy to catch students cheating. You can go to Zero GPT, you can go to Chat GPT, you can do any of those applications. Every professor can see that you have taken, and it'll show you the outline lines of every single word, every single comma and period, every single thought that AI took. And so, they're saying, oh, like reframe your words or like put it in your own words. Put it in your own words for a college student is, okay, great. I'm going to take what I think about this one part of my paper and I'm going to put it into AI. Boom. Give me 3, different paragraphs. 1, 2, 3. Done. That's it. And that's what drives me crazy is I'm all about success. I'm all about, pushing yourself to be the best that you can. And I feel like AI has taken a toll where we take advantage of what we get.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think AI is great for some things, but where are you going to get in the world if you're using it for every single thing without you putting your mind to it? Let's take it apart a little bit. Let's be able to attend classes. Let's be able to go to TED Talks. Those are great. You can learn so many different things from that and be able to, put your own thoughts on a piece of paper you could easily write a book. You could easily write a paper based on the knowledge that you know, based on the points that were talked about, connect the two dots, boom, no AI. I use it for, some guiding. I use it for reading help. But right now, I am witnessing students using AI in every single thing. There was a girl who took a test in my kinesiology class, my sports studies class. Watched her go 100%, 2 minutes in. The professors can tell with AI how long it takes you to take tests. So on Canvas, it's a homework assignment kind of area. They assign you homework stuff. You do your assignments, and it'll say, okay, you have 3 questions. Here's some fill in the blanks. You do it, and it times you of how long it takes. And they have caught multiple students where if you take a 3, number test, you take less than 2 minutes. There's no way that you would get that correct in that short of time. If you're using your notes, if you're referring back to the lectures and basing your points and basing your knowledge off of what you know to, provide to the professor of, what you're learning, you're kind of screwed either way. Sure, if you're a smart student, you're right on the dot like that. Okay, great. But it's crazy. They have cracked down on that like no other. Even a professor came to me, he was like, hey, Liv, why did it take you 5 minutes to write this paper? Because I go so in depth. I hit every single point. I'm using my notes. I even refer and connect sources with my thoughts, with AI, and how I think it's going to impact me. And I think it's just crazy what this world has come to.
It takes you 5 minutes to write a paper in college?
Depends. Like I had a speech yesterday that I had to do, and I used AI to create me a template and use my thoughts and kind of, guide me in a, give me different topics to connect my knowledge on. And so, there's a different, for longer papers, I had a 26-page research paper that took me about a month and a half to do.
Okay, so
I
that I
have a
was a little
business
worried.
report that took me about 45 days to do. Those longer things, I take my time. I go through it. I get it proofread. I go to tutoring. I go to my professors. I go to my parents. My mom reads over my resume. She can read over all my stuff. But on those quick papers, I'm able to put my knowledge to the test, being able to connect the relevant ideas to how it shaped me and how it's going to help me perform and succeed in that class. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you're
It's
loving
interesting.
it. You're loving AI.
I'm loving it because I'm using it in a helpful manner. I'm not using it to, do my work for me. Because what is the point of being in school if you're just going to use AI? Just drop out. Just do it from home. Just cheat. Why are you even in school? I use, I have notebooks on docs, on words,
Yep.
all of my notes. I have a 375-page doc of my notes from day 1 of last year until today.
I believe it. That's great. See, I wish I could be like that, but no, I just got like a million notes scattered across different phones, books, post-it notes and shit. Like my ideas are just everywhere.
So that's the thing for me. I'm a really disorganized person, and I was even worse last year. And this professor whipped it into my brain. She sat down with me and she was like, oh my God, Liv, you don't know what you're doing. Your thoughts are everywhere. Your papers are crumbled up in the bottom of your backpack. What are you doing? So I sat down with her and she made me a list. And she goes, every single time you write a paper, use these bullet points, create these paragraphs, if you give me a mind bubble map where, one point is this, and how it connects to the bigger point. And so now when I'm writing papers, I do that. Then I write a rough draft. I go back through it. I write a second draft. I connect my second draft to my first draft. And then I use my notes and I refer to, I say, according to, ABC 7 News, according to this lecture that we just had on Tuesday, we talked about this, which has impacted me this way, which I'm going to use moving forward in the future. Like being able to use your notes, being able to have that knowledge from school, AI is great. Yes, it'll help you connect those different things. It'll help you to, kind of push you in a way that you need to, if you're not seeing something in a way that you want to see it, or helping you to adapt and kind of changing your mindset about things. Great. Again, my whole point to this is, why are you in school if you're just going to cheat? I witnessed a student who wrote a paper in our sports kinesiology class. He was in a communications class, 81% chat GPT. It frustrates me. Of course, for those listening, AI is great. Again, it helps you with multiple things, but use it in a way that's going to help reflect that success and push you to be a better person. You know?
Yeah. But there's just people out there who are just going to do whatever with it.
And you know what? Those are the people who don't succeed.
I mean, they succeed in their own ways. Everybody's successful.
Sure, yeah.
Everybody's successful in their mind and with whatever they want to be. Because if they don't want to be that, then they could change within reason. Obviously, there's common sense involved into that. Yeah, dude. It's exciting where things are going to go. I'm in for the ride. Like, definitely stop trying to control things. Just took hands off the wheel. Said, fuck it. Let's see where this goes. Because this is a curveball I never thought would happen. Yeah. Because if you're telling me I could become like a commander on a spaceship within my timeline, I'm fucking do that. That's cool as shit. Yeah. I'll go up in space and be like, yeah, I'm in space. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what I would fucking do. That would be cool as shit, though. I've always wanted to do that. So to me, it's like I'm holding on because I want to be in I want to go to space. If they offer fucking AI civilian rocket ships up there, ticket.
I mean, of course, again, AI can be used to even build things, which I think is great. If you want to be some sort of technician or work on planes or whatever,
I'll take a Neuralink.
Yeah, it'll teach you how to like be able to do that. Again, finding those positives in the AI and not misusing the stuff that we have.
Dude, if I had a Neuralink,
that would be insane.
I would give all my bad shit to that robot.
That would be wild.
It would become a bad robot, man. So all my weird thoughts go that way. I wonder if you could do that. What would happen?
That'd be interesting to look up. See if like there's any studies out there about that. I'm sure there's got to be something.
Yeah. Imagine you're like controlling your robot and then your robot dies. What happens to you then? Because you were thinking about your robot. Like, do you just feel that cut off from you? Like you're having a real connection. You really are. Like Bluetooth wireless connection is what's coming to people's brain. Like it's already there. Like the fact that he can turn on his TV with his fucking mind. Like I don't think people fucking understand what's coming. Like, what? And you literally connect that with AI. It's gonna get fucking crazy in like 15 years. It's gonna be the coolest, craziest shit. Because
AI and robots are going to take over. Again, I had this conversation with someone else last week where it's like, we went from COVID where everything was in person to the lockdown to everything being online. I think that robots and AI are going to take over. Again, we have Waymos. Some people on the podcast even made a good point. It's like, I think that's how our life is going to be. We're kind of trying to figure out what we think is going to be there for the future. And what's really going to happen, a year or two from now, 10 years from now, where do we think we are going to be from, now until 2035? Do we think AI is going to take over? Do we think that, people are going to become robots? Like, there's that crazy mindset where it's like, I'm kind of scared for what the future has to, like, offer,
There was something during the Iran and Israel missiles when they were going off.
Oh, my God. That's another topic.
They said that one of the missiles got potentially hacked with AI. It was like reported, you know what I mean? But I don't fucking believe that shit, because the news is the news. They do anything for a click and just get people going. But I'm like, that
absolutely
makes you think though. It puts that idea, that seed into your head on just how powerful like it really could be.
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, but either way, it's here.
Yeah.
And people just got to live with it now.
It's in full swing. I'm excited to see like what it's going to do,
I want a time machine.
Oh, wouldn't that be cool?
I wouldn't just travel anywhere specific. I'd just be like, let me just cruise and like
take me back in time.
Yeah, I'm just going to rent a car in the 1980s, like a date night, me and the wife,
Yes.
Just like, hey babe, let's go to an authentic drive-in. Like I'm not talking 2020 drive-in, 2025, 2015. Like we're going milkshakes and rock and roll music, you know what I mean? Pure greaser shit. Like that's what I would use it for. My kids to go see real dinosaurs, Jurassic Park, real life, but don't fucking die because that sucks. But if they do, then I could just go back in time or forward in time. You know what I mean?
Man, I
Different
want to go
dimensions.
back to like 2010. Man, that era was so great. I want to
Yeah.
go back to our old gaming era. Man, I miss that like
Mhm.
crazy.
Times were simpler, huh?
Yeah, way simpler.
There was no college.
There was none of this, crazy shenanigans happening. And now look what's happened.
Yeah. I mean, I think it just happens. That's
Yeah.
just how it is. It's just life that way. There's nothing you
Yeah.
could do about it. You just gotta that's the part where ignorance is bliss. And the best thing you can do is go to a comedy show and laugh.
Yeah.
It's the best thing you can do. You get a flat tire, go to a concert. You'll feel better.
Exactly.
You don't have the money for it? Fuck.
Yeah.
That's rough. I feel that.
Hey,
Neither
that's
do
why
I.
we have technology. We have YouTube.
AI. You can use AI to make a concert.
Just make everything better.
Exactly. See, it's already making
Make
everybody's
pain
life.
go away.
Yeah, it does. It definitely does. So you have a PC, or are you gaming on Xbox?
No, so I have both. So my brother took my Xbox when
Nice.
he left. Well, I was pissed about it. I walked in my house and that Xbox wasn't there. And I broke into tears. I called my mom and texted her, was like, what the heck? Like, where is my whatever. He took it,
My
gave it
brother's
back to
being my
me.
brother, mom.
Yeah, I was like, you bum. Like, why didn't you tell me that you took my Xbox? Like, what the heck? Whatever. Me and him have actually gone along since he had left for college. I did not like him at all. Throat to throat, whatever. Here we are, 3.5 years later. We're close than ever. So me and him game together. So I have a PC and an Xbox. So I'm kind of doing both. So my PC, my iPad set up for work, Xbox gaming, and then my laptop for just stupid shenanigans. But yeah, I only have about 45 minutes to game every single day. I'm not sure if you saw, but Rogue Company #2 came out. Uh-huh.
What
Yeah.
is that?
Yeah. Rogue Company?
Like Rogue Company 2? Because I
Yes.
thought the game was like dead. What is 2?
No.
Is it just like an updated version, or is it a completely different game?
I wouldn't say it's completely different. I would say there are some stuff that we had before, like pew pews, different characters and whatnot, but new updated maps, different like lobbies. They're different like what did me and Z do? We did like 3v3 or whatever. You can kind of it's crazy. It's changed. I forgot about Roku for the longest time. And
Do
I'll
they
tell
still
you,
have Ronin?
yes. Ronan was my player for years. I played with Z and Yates, I think.
Yes, Yates.
And
Yeah.
I'll tell you a quick story. So funny enough, I met my best buddy on Roku because me and Z and Yates were 3v3ing him and his other buddies. And I came into his Twitch chat and was like, LOL, you suck, you're the worst player, get crapped on, whatever.
Damn.
3.5, 4 years later, I just reflected with him about this. We have known each other for that long. And he said, do you remember the day that you popped in my chat on Twitch and started talking shit?
Oh my gosh.
And he was like, dude, Roku 2 just came out. And I was like, what do you mean? I have not heard about Roku. I haven't played it in a minute. And so we were on his Twitch stream waiting for it to drop and, for everyone to hop on. It was crazy. And so I don't know how many players we're on now, but the day that it released, the world went bonkers.
I don't see it. Where is it on? Epic Games, probably?
Yeah, I'd say Epic Games. I know it came out.
I just went to Steam. I
don't think it's
see
on
it
Steam.
Steam.
I'd say Epic. Yeah.
I gotta update it always. Yeah, dude. Rogue Company for me was one of those games that I tried it initially and like it didn't mean nothing to me. I was like, all right, whatever. And then I think it was just one stream. I was like, let me give it a shot. And then I never looked fucking back. I
Well, that's how
love.
I met Yates and Z. You introduced me to them. And then we were that night that we were on a Discord call and you played Peanut Butter Waffles by Ryan Carveo.
Yep.
That was the night that we played. And then during COVID, this was crazy. I think it was a couple weeks after COVID hit. Z was working from online and it was me, Z, and Yates. And every single day, and I shit you not when I say this, Z would get on at 5 in the morning before work and run around with me and Yates. He would go to work online. Me and Yates would sleep, do our own jam. Then Z would get back on and the grind just continued. And I remember every single day my mom would come down and I would not leave my room to go eat dinner because I was so fully invested on crapping on players with those two. That was my trio squad right there. And that night, Z taught me how to do a soundboard on my PC.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the night that we ended up being in Discord with all of them. And I never looked back on that memory. And, that goes way back to when we had, when you were like, oh, you guys are going to be at my graduation, whatever. And then a couple weeks later, you had written a thing that said, I'm no longer going to be streaming. I'm no longer I don't have time for games. And I remember all of us, our OG squad, everyone who had been here since day one. I remember watching you on stream, bawling my eyes out at my dad's in his office. And man, those memories, just the photos that we had together, the memories that we had, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to lose B. We're never going to play again. I'm going to have to find someone else. And sure enough, what was it, a year or two later, you came back. And I was like, oh my God, my life has changed. My people are back. We had the joke about Susanna or whatever.
Yeah.
That was, oh my God, I will never, forget that day. That was the day that I met Haley. Do you remember Haley?
Yeah.
She reached out to me yesterday because I had
legit yesterday.
Yes, I had posted that I'm doing this podcast with you on my Snapchat, and she goes, oh my God, B. And I was like, yeah. And so I sent her the link and I was like, check it out. This dude has been going nuts. She's, oh my God, he has 4 kids now. What? He had 1? This dude, went from filmmaking to realting to and me and her just reconnected. Haven't heard from her since probably 2020. It's been about 5 years now. And I just heard from her yesterday. And we just clicked the dots back together. It was insane. And I was like, check out what this man's doing. She goes, dude, no way this guy has his own podcast. And I was like, oh, you don't know what plans are coming. This dude is going crazy.
That's so nice, honestly.
Haley's an OG.
Shit. She definitely is. So I got to meet her and her man too when they were together. They came down here. We had a photo shoot. What
Heck
they did.
Yeah.
It was fun as shit. They had
that's awesome.
Tagged along while they were doing the photos and shit. And he took some photos of me and I posted them up on my Instagram. Fucking super dope. Yeah.
Heck yeah. That's
they were
great.
super close homies. Yeah, it's crazy you say all that because I never got to know the perspective of you guys in that aspect of me walking away. I knew that it hurt, right?
Oh my God, it broke all of us to pieces.
I had no idea. And I'm just barely now still trying to come to grips with it, how much of an impact I had on certain people in the group and everybody. To me it was just yeah, they don't really give a shit.
Oh.
Weirdly enough, that's what I thought, even though every time we would go live it was the same people. You know what I mean? That's why it was the OG squad, right?
Right, that's our beehive, that's our family.
And it would grow. I remember we were climbing. I remember at one point we were 5 average viewers, then 15 to fuck.
You had a huge 8-hour stream that a couple weeks after that, and then you pulled it on us 2 weeks after. And I remember talking to Z and to all the other fellas, and we were like, so what? I guess we're just gonna part ways now? I hadn't talked to Z, I hadn't talked to you, I hadn't talked to Yates in ages until you created the Discord again and you brought us all back. I still, the nights that I, need a good cry, I have that video of you on stream saying, all right, guys, this is the last of the last. And you turned off that stream oh my God, I was broken. I had bawled my eyes out. And I remember that night I had to go take a walk in my dad's apartment complex. It was one of the worst days. I was like, okay, my favorite streamer is gone. I feel like I just lost all my homies. You guys are like my first and second family. Like, I know y'all better than, anyone my other streamers that I know.
That to me is just wild. I had no idea I meant like that much to all you guys.
Oh, you meant so much. Yeah. And look, now you have, the Beehive hoodies and shirts and everything. And now it's like, we all still play with each other. Like, Z will reach out to me every once in a while. Like, I asked him to play a couple games. Like, me and Chris, like, we have good conversations. Our chat is popping on Discord. Like, it's like we never left each other. But that day, I will tell you, it broke all of us.
It's crazy. I'm getting a lot of blasts from the past. Last night I had Vontez and 2 on, and 2 was working, so he wasn't able to hop in too much. But no pun intended, too much. But I would love to chit chat with him again. God, I love both of them. I really do.
Yeah.
And we had a good conversation. But even Vontez was just pretty much telling me like how much of an inspiration. And it's weird. It really is, because like I knew, but I didn't know. And hearing it from you guys directly, like, yo, there's this whole new wave of B that's like different from then, but it's like here back now. Like it's exciting. It's different. And to see that you guys still give a shit after years. And I mean, like, the physical and mental abuse I would put you guys fucking through. You know what I mean? Like, I'm back to stay, bitches. And everybody be like, yeah. And then like 6 streams later, it's like, where the fuck did he go? He went back to go get milk.
Why do you think that, I kept in touch with all y'all? Because y'all were my family. That was my, place. That was my safe place to be able to like be myself and joke around with everyone. And like all the memories, I was like, wow, like this just kind of went boom. And then all of a sudden, that day that you post in the Discord, we're so back or something, I was like, oh my God, my world has come back. Like, just the separation from all this, like, I'm really glad that we all stayed in touch. We lost a couple of our OGs, but I feel like
they come back every now and then. I'm not worried about it. They'll come back.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, like, we're all still really close. Like, we all.
I have Yates on Facebook. Yates bought a house. He's married.
Yeah.
Yates is fucking married, dog.
Yeah. No, he literally, he went from being single to a different relationship to now dude's married.
I remember when he got into that relationship.
Do you remember?
It's weird because some of my bestest friends and like the people I think I know the most is like people online, like Z-Jess, him and I having conversations. Zerk, I've known Zerk probably the longest out of everybody there. Sunny, he's gonna be on the podcast next week.
Let's go.
So he's like, what time can you do? And I was like, Friday at like 8:00. And he was like, all right, that's like 11 o'clock for me. And I work the next day, but it's worth it. And I was like, oh, we can move it. And he was like, nope, keep it how it is. And I was like, oh, man.
It's because you're so inspiring. Like, you motivated all of us. Like, you inspired us to become, I guess I can only speak on my personal part. I don't think I would have been here doing this well if it wasn't for all y'all, especially you. Like, there were days that I had mental breakdowns. There were days that I had those shitty days. And I came into your stream and you were nothing but welcoming. And you were like, give her a follow. And I just instantly hit it off with every single person. And it's like, those streams, like, you are different from majority of the streamers. Those streamers, like, say hey to you, whatever, great. But you take your time out of your day to get to know us personally, to bring us together as a family and a community where, if you're working, me, Yates, Z will be on, general chat, hanging out and chit-chatting and, catching up. Like, dude, we haven't met in person yet. But look where we are. Like, you now, you have your own podcast. I'm talking to you one-on-one. I never got to do that before being on stream. I was like, oh my God, like, this dude is famous. I just played Fortnite with him. Oh my God. Look where we are. Like, dude, I thought you were like legit famous. I was like, this guy, I mean, obviously, yeah, you are to some extent. You're booming. Everyone, all of our OGs know your name. Like, I'm still throwing your name out. I'm still getting people to come through. And I was like, okay, our Discord's dead. Great. This is just going to go absolute nowhere. Dude, this is crazy. I look back on those memories. I looked back on that note. I have a photo of you, me, Z, and Yates in a Discord call late at night. Z, I met Z when he didn't
Yeah.
have any kids or when he was having one.
Yeah.
Look where we all are now. Like, I'm almost graduating college. You've known me since I was out of grade school. You know me through high school and now to the end of college, and I still haven't met you in person. I know Baby B. Like, this is like family. Like, this is crazy to reflect on all the memories. We've all grown, and like your motivation, how you're like, get up and start doing stuff. Like, use your mind and put your knowledge to what you want to do. Like, put your best foot forward. Watching your streams and watching the podcast. Oh my God. Like, Ryan, if you're watching this, man, that man made some great, intelligent points.
Sabarzo, yeah, he's a great, great,
Oh my
great
God,
friend of
he's
mine from
such
high
a great
school.
guy.
Yeah,
I
we
watched
probably
that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's an amazing guy. I've seen him probably about 6 months ago. I've kind of stayed in touch with him once or twice a year, and every single time, it's always a friendly welcome. He's such a beautiful soul.
Yes.
I love him. I really do. We had moments in high school for sure.
Yeah.
Like not bad, but
Yeah.
like that's how we know of each other, right? But we
Right.
never were like best buddies, which is amazing now to say like, okay, that's how a beautiful relationship flourishes. Like it just
Absolutely.
naturally happened, right? Like
Yeah.
out of high school, it's like, hey, bro, you want to go grab a beer? Yeah. And then you just chit chat and then you just hang out and like the respect, the mutuality, like beautiful soul. He really is.
I listened to that podcast falling
Yeah.
asleep that day. And, as you've seen my paragraph on paragraph, my paper that I wrote in
Yes.
Discord, I was blown away. I was reflecting all day and I was like, man, I just can't get off this podcast. Like, I need to finish and hear what Ryan has to say. That was one of the most inspiring podcasts I have ever listened to. That man is intelligent, and I don't know how it's done, but I'm trying to like learn and, bonk it off of him to kind of whip it into shape for me to grow
Yeah.
as a person. It's crazy. Like, you went from being a tiny streamer to being a huge streamer to being in real estate to now look where you are with 4 kids in a beautiful, life that you have created.
Thank you.
Holy crap. It's huge.
Yeah. Some days
I want to be
still
like
feel,
you.
some days I still feel like I'm getting my ass kicked. Don't get me wrong.
Well, we all have those days, but
yeah,
you've
that's
come so
huge.
far and you've inspired us and pushed us and, you've made all of us, into a better person than we were before. And, that's why we all stuck around. We all made each other better in those memories. Like, we're never going to separate, we always came back together. It was always because of you. There were so many nights, and I shit you not. There was one night you sat in Discord with us and you were just giving us this speech on just, how to continue like improving your life and getting better at things. And I remember getting off that Discord call and I bawled my eyes out. I was so inspired. And I sat in my bed and I was like, man, this guy's a legend, dude. Like, I don't know, like, you just whipped it for us. And, I've been trying to use your motivational points and like how you're mentoring Baby B and like your little ones. Like, it's crazy. Like, if you ask Yates, if you ask Z, look at their perspectives. It's crazy how much of a positive impact you have on us. You're different than other streamers. I'll make that very clear.
There's plenty of great people out there. Plenty of great people.
Yes, but do those streamers get to know you personally? Do they care about your...
Yeah, of course they do.
There's
We're
some
out there.
There's
plenty. There's tons of them out there.
But I don't think some streamers connect with their viewers like you're doing with us. Like,
They probably do it better.
No, I call
but there's always that possibility, right? Like, think about it
definitely.
though. There's tons and tons of other huge communities that are out there now, right?
Yeah.
And some of them, just like this, right? So for sure, they're naturally by default has to be other ones out there that are far more superior. Some that are the average, some that are lower, like by any standard measure, like however you measure it. But it doesn't matter, just the community and the connections there, and they do it just as well, if not better. They kept it going. Like I said, I was abusing you guys. I fucking left multiple times, got you guys' hopes up, but it always felt.
Well, life happens.
Well, there was a lot of it didn't feel right. Like,
yeah, and that's fine.
It's always been something that I want to do, and I think even you guys can see that pattern in my life.
Yes.
Right? Like, you guys can see, like, it's like, I'm here. I want to do this. I want to do this. I love it. Hey guys. All right. We're having fun. Oh yeah. And then some days I'm just like, yeah, what's up? Hey.
Yeah,
And
you're not
some days,
motivated.
yeah.
You
And
get the ball rolling, and then it's all of a sudden like, oh, you're just kind of burnt out, and you
yeah.
just step away. Like, you disappeared, and you came back better than ever 2 or 3 times. Like, look how much you've grown, and like helped us become a better, person, and look at like how much you have improved your life. Like, use that as a reflection point, to help you continue to grow. When you need to take a step back, take a step back.
Yeah. Smart. I don't. That's the problem. I'm always all gas, but I've learned to, like, that's like one of the huge blessings about my wife is like, she'll let me get in my head and get all like these grand ideas, and then she'll like just say one word, and it's just like, it doesn't slam me to the ground, but it's like the realization. It's gentle, it's sweet, it's
absolutely,
it just keeps me like level-headed. And so when trying to take on a huge feat of what streaming was, which back then it was 24 hours a day, right? Because I had no major responsibilities when it came down to the stream days during that time of my life, right? So I tried so many different times to fit that type of lifestyle into what I was doing in the moment, and it wouldn't match up because I didn't have the time frame, and that would be what burned me out. Because I was like, I can do 3 videos a day like I used to. I can stream this much. I can work here, and then like I have college here, and then I could do boxing over here, and then right here I have an hour and a half, and that's when I could do this, and like that's how it was. And like living like that in order to make all of it happen got so exhausting and taxing, and like and then trying to always find that cycle, because like that entrepreneurial cycle spirit, but then also wanting to be creative, like just that mesh of confusion. And so I had to like deconstruct it all and throw away everything and just reset the foundation of like, okay, let me get steady. And then let me put absolutely no fucking production value and just make videos and post them, and just, because to me, that's, if I've always told everybody that's what it's about, how come I'm not doing it? And I'm always making sure like, no, I can't do it because I'm not the best. I don't have this gear. The lighting isn't perfect. I don't know my lines. I don't know the script. I don't know what I'm going to say. How am I going to follow this up? How am I going to edit this? Like, I get caught up on the thumbnail, the tags, are people going to like it? What am I going to say if somebody doesn't like it? I got to be prepared. So I'm quick, because then people will be like, oh yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I go into this huge fucking dump of ideas that are like so toxic and bad, but in the reality, it's like fear trying to protect me. And then that stops me because I spend so much time in every single one of those details. And that chaos then just becomes that mental burnout. So then when I'm like, fuck it, let me go live, I don't come with that energy, because all of it was put to span out these negative thoughts that didn't get me anywhere. So it's like switching that, cutting it off, and being like, I'm going to do it on Google Meets. I'm going to keep one sheet, keep it all simple. Don't go crazy. Like, I posted a video in the beginning of June, and that started all of this off. And then you'll notice like there was like a week and a half gap. And that's because I was like, oh, I need to do this. I need to do that. I need to get this done. I need to get that done. This needs to be perfect. And I need to set this up for the next 2 months. And I'm going to gotta create these formats and this paperwork, and I'm going to funnel it this way. And I was like, fuck that. Google Meets here. Oh, I can record? Great. And then it just whoever's talking, it cuts to that person. Editing, done. Right? And it goes directly to my email. I go ahead and download it, put it in CapCut. If I need to take off the intro, I may do it by a second. If I need to take out the outro, I'll do it. I don't put any tags. I don't change the thumbnail. I try to make sure whoever's like, if YouTube can catch like a thumbnail, like the auto-generated thumbnail of you, that's how I do it, so people can see.
Absolutely.
If not, I go snag one real quick and post it up, but they're not pretty, they're not great. But
it's your original content.
Exactly. Like, it's just the value of just getting it done now. So like, I'm finally taking my own advice and stopping. And I've stopped looking for how-to videos. I stopped looking at what do I need to do next videos. I stopped looking for self-help books. I stopped looking for everything that guides me on what to do. When I just said, fuck it, I'm doing it. Because that's what I did back then. I said, there was no rule book. There was no set guidelines I followed. I built those along the way, and now they're restricting me. Fuck all of that. I don't give a shit. And I'm having fun with it. And there is no burnout. There's no burnout. Yet. But
you're on go mode.
yeah, like it feels right to do it because I love being social in this aspect and connecting and like just learning, right? And like being able to like reconnect and understand different perspectives and the gravity of certain things, because I am a person who's massively in depth with life and thoughts and emotions and range and understanding and the ideology of perspectiveness. Like that to me is just who I am. And what better way to do that than, you even said it best, like how I would connect with you guys, right? Like that's how you guys all saw it, was me connecting with you guys. But my perspective has always been, I'm entertaining. I need to entertain. But in reality, you guys gained so much from my entertainment that I didn't realize that, right?
Yeah.
Because I just
absolutely.
took whatever I could and made it unique and funny, right? Put it into a character. And so that in itself, like that, I was blinded by my own, I don't want to say light because that's fucking cheesy. I was blinded by my own shit. I was smelling my own shit. I don't know what fucking phrase to say. I was pretty much like blind as fuck to other perspectives of how you guys viewed me, that now seeing it, it's like, okay, yeah, there is that advice there. Let me take that. Let me run with it. Let me work with it. Because yeah, it is actually kind of sound. Let me believe in my own words, because other people still 8 years later, 9 years later, still believe in me, even though I'm doubting myself and always fighting it. It's so weird because me doing this is like, eventually I want to have a fucking Theo Von clip of me fucking bawling my eyes out being like, yeah, dude, sometimes I wish I was a fucking turtle. You know what I mean? Like just some Theo Von shit. But like, because he's raw, he's himself. And all I've ever wanted to do was just be myself and have fun. And I thought that it was the video games what brought you guys there.
No,
it wasn't me. But that always was the foundation, because I'm streaming a video game.
Right.
I need to stream a video game and change video games and capture that audience. And then they're only going to come back when I play. Like in my head, I viewed you guys only as like, and I hate to say it's like, if I'm playing this game, I know who's going to come in. If I'm playing this game, I know who's going to come in. I know who's going to be the first 5-minute people coming in and saying, hey, what game are you playing? You playing this? Nope. All right. Hey, peace out. You know what I mean? Like there was that. So it's hard for me to see the other perspective sometimes, because, you know, there was that little bit of give and take to it. And it does become numerical in a sense, right? Because you're not physically there interacting.
Because I'm going to send you some screenshots that I got from our chat, and they were really inspiring. There were a lot of like really good, you know, inspiring quotes and, you know, words of wisdom that a bunch of our OG people have given you. And, you know, I would love to see, like, in a couple of weeks, if you have time, let's get our whole community in Discord and just let's hear out everyone's perspective on you, because
you're a piece of shit. You fucking left me. I was fucking ready to rank up.
We would never do that. No,
I fucking hope so. I'd be like, yeah, 1v1 me, bitch. Let's go.
You have a life too. You're going through things. We all understand, but I would love to see like everyone else's perspective, and that might give you a little bit of like light and sense, like, oh my god, like these people really do care. Like I know Yates and Z, everyone has some, you know, words of wisdom. Everyone has their own takes and perspectives on those past, you know, you stream for what, 2-3 years every single day?
Yeah.
Think about all the inspiring things and all the memories and everything that we can tell you that might help you to run with that bag and carry it into what you're doing next.
See, and it's terrifying because like I'm very contradicting to myself, because I'm like, in the beginning of our conversation, we got very heavy into AI, and it's like, all right, I love AI.
Yeah.
We have to adapt it. We have to adapt with it. But and then there's this like little bitch side of me that's like, you can't even adapt to the internet, dog. Like you bitched out at that. And it's like, fuck yeah, you're right. And it's like, all right, well, why am I scared of like this thing? And it's like scared of the judgment. And I was like, why am I fucking scared? I can't even sing, and yet I would sing to you guys. I would fucking do air guitar to Hey There's Delilah. By the way, my daughter's name is gonna be Delilah.
Oh.
So it's like full circle for me. And it's like, to me, there's nothing that's coincidence. Wait, no, am I saying that right? Shit's just fucking perfect, you know, like it's on this golden road, and it's like everything that's happening is meant to happen.
You're going crazy.
Yeah. And what's weird is even in like these past couple of years, like my 20s have been absolutely dog at. No, they haven't. They've been beautiful. they've been beautiful, which
I
is
was
the
about
correct
to
thing to say.
rephrase that one, Chief.
But but there is moments where it's like it felt like dog ass.
Yeah.
But I remember always telling myself, like, go through all the hard shit now, no matter what it is. Fall, make the dumb decisions, be indecisive, because then you can fix it up later on. Like, it's okay. Like, have your 20s to fucking bounce. And everybody that's wealthy, everybody that's made it a long, healthy life has even said it. Like, use your 20s and go again. That's what the youth is. It's to exhaust yourself and put yourself to your limits. And I think that's really what I have done. Even though a part of me didn't want to go away from streaming, I knew that I needed to try out this film side of me. Like I like it, there's that side of like, okay, streaming's done. There was all this emotion mixed in with it, and then like I left to go do the filmmaking, and that's just something I had to do, because I even walked away from that when people were like the same thing, like, yo, you just left. Like, what the fuck? You didn't even tell us. So it's like I have that habit of doing it because I get so involved in these communities that I love so much, because in my 20s, I don't want to have that regret. But it has now left this I don't want to say scar, but it's left this scar, or this cycled scar of when you become the jack of all trades, when you're fully invested into an industry for 2 to 3 years of your life, and you learn the craft and you love it and you become mildly successful, not mildly, but like to my standards, for me personally, and then you just stop. I never thought, no one ever tells you what the consequences of that is. And that's the people that you meet and connect with. The people that you spend 12 hours a day on set with, or trying to do a 24-hour stream and make people laugh. Like, the job to me was very much the same either way. It was entertaining people, right? There was still camera involved. It just became more personal. And I've realized, like, that to me is what I love the most. Like, even now, like, I'm technically working in a call center for tech support, and like I thought I was gonna hate it, but like I'm like talking to random people all day. Hey, what the fuck's up? Like, this guy today was fucking hilarious on the phone, man. And I love that I get to just have that little glimpse of somebody's life, and what I try to do is just make it better. Which then now a light clicks off in my head, like, Tink, because you said that that's pretty much what I do to you guys, what I've done for you guys. And I say that I like doing that, but then I hate the action for me to do that, because then I get embarrassed and I feel judged, which is crazy. Well, right, but it's weird because, like, again, I would do fucking Hey There, Delilah. I've done films. I've fucking fallen asleep on film sets, and it's like really weird. But and then that's the weird part about it that I've been trying to crack and figure out. That's where, like, I think the prolonged procrastination, however the fuck you say that word, comes and kicks in. Yeah, like that's where it kicks in. Like, oh, I need to have this. I need to make sure this is set up. I need to do this, that, whatever.
Right.
And then it's just like, no, just go do it. Just, who gives a shit? Just do it. Figure out the rest along the way. People will understand the message.
Day by day. Yeah,
exactly. Right. So like I'm going back down to the hardcore basics of foundation, putting my feet on the ground to relearn everything. Which has been the biggest beautiful struggle, because now I'm building the pieces that I know are sustainable, and taking my own advice of making sure I have a strong mentality. I'm able to regulate my emotions. I have the discipline. I'm not fear of failure. I'm not seeking instant gratification. I have the purpose. I'm on time, except for today because I was doing dishes. Don't hate me.
You have a life.
But that's because I wasn't avoiding responsibility, because I was like, oh, I'll just do the dishes after the podcast. And I was like, no, let me just do them now. Let me get them done. And then I was like, oh, it's 8:30. And I was like, no, let me just tell her, hey, I'm almost done. And like
that's fine.
Exactly. And it's like people pleasing, and then 10, weak in physical mental health. So like I've taken every single one of those things into consideration, and I'm doing it myself personally, which is building up myself from this like rock bottom, which in a way I think I did on purpose, just to see if I could pull myself out.
And I was going to make a point, like, as you said, mental health, that's a big topic that continues to boom day in and day out. And what I'm going to say to you is, make sure you're taking care of yourself, doing things for yourself. You don't always have to be on stream entertaining us or entertaining other people, talking to people. You have a life. Your mental state is continuing to fluctuate because you're great at go mode, but then you hit this ground where you're just like, oh my God, I can't do this anymore. And that's when you fall down. I'm saying take every day slow, one thing at a time. let things happen. Let it fall into place. If it falls into place and it works out, it's meant for you. If it doesn't, it teaches you a bigger lesson to expand your knowledge and continue to grow. And maybe you can incorporate that, come back in 2 and 3 years, use that as a starting point, you know?
Yeah. It's been great. It really has, because like changing it, like I still wake up fucking depressed. Like that's what it is. Like I'm fighting fucking depression, right? Like that's,
I get that. Yeah.
yeah, like that's what it is. And like I just raw dog it. I fucking raw dog this shit. It's fucking maddening that I do it, because I'm like, the back of my head, I'm like a little fucking dog that's like, yeah, I fucking got it, I'm winning. But in reality, I'm like, fuck, this shit sucks. You know?
Yeah.
My wife's over there. She's like chilling. She's like, you good? And I'm like, yeah, fucking twitching.
Make it through. It's fine.
Yeah. It's okay. I just had like 16 anxiety attacks today. Yay, Tuesday. You know what I mean? Like
that's the exact voice you use for Susanna.
Yeah, but like that's how that shit goes. And but my wife, she's my medicine. She's my rock. She keeps
That's
me, like I said,
awesome.
grounded. Without her, I'd be still a fucking messy cocktail. You know what I mean?
You would have made it, but I'm so glad to see that you're doing awesome and that she's, you know, that light in your life to be able to guide you. Like that, you are so successful. You're doing so well in life.
Thank
like
you.
keep killing it.
I'm trying.
Again, your mental
Thank you.
state, take it slow, do things one at a time, get enough sleep, get enough to eat, drink 8 water bottles a day, spend time outside, spend time with baby B, go on a walk, go on a run. Those simple things, when you're burnt out, take a step back, kind of figure out, all right, what's going wrong? How do I crush and conquer this?
And with that right there, we'll end it, because that's the best advice we could say. Everybody could use that advice. I think it's great advice. I live by that advice. Going outside, still walking, doing what you got to do. You got to stay. You got to stay moving. You know, live.
Always.
Thank you for coming on to the show.
Yes,
I appreciate
thank
your
you.
time.
That
Go
was
get
so
some
fun.
sleep. Yes, it was exciting. Till next time.
Yes. See you
All right.
later. Bye.